So that's a skill you're definitely going to have to do on your driving test. I do my lane change, let my speed drop, aim my right tire for this little ridge where the concrete and the asphalt meet. Hey guys, it's Jacqueline. There's one part of the test that always scares everybody because they think that they're going to hit the curb when they're parking. So we're going to practice pulling over to the curb and parking parallel without hitting the curb. We're going to do it step by step a couple times. So let's talk about the process. First of all, why do we have to know how to pull over and park? Pulling over to park is probably how you're going to stop when you come to your friend's house for dinner, or when you have to find a quick parking space to get into school or a meeting. It's the most common way that people park in our community, just pulling over and parking on the side of the road. It's really important that we park in a specific position because we don't want to park too close to the curb. Then we'll block water flow to our sewers. And we don't want to park too far into the road because then we'll block our bike lanes. When I pull over and park, I have to remember, of course, I'm doing a lane change. So I have to signal, check my mirrors and my blind spot. I want to have a regulated speed, probably 15 and then 10 and then 5 as I'm approaching the curb before I come to a complete stop. And I want to make sure that I position my car perfectly so I don't hit the curb. To do that, I use my frame of reference of the hood of my car. I think about the length of my windshield. I think about the midline of my car, and I make sure that my car is not too far to the right. It's like I have a yardstick coming out of my right arm, and it points diagonal to the front right of the car. When I do that, my hand goes right over a little line in my windshield wiper, and that's the gaze I use to make sure that I'm not getting too close. Then I follow up by looking in my right mirror to make sure I see that perfectly parallel position that I like to see. I use my back door handle as my visual guide. I like to see my back door handle just about, is that half an inch from the curb? Let's get out on the road. And we'll practice pulling over and parking a couple times so that you can see how to make it work for you every time by using the visual of the hood of your car and your windshield wipers, and also using your right mirror to confirm your good positioning. So I'm going to set a goal of pulling over to park behind that white Jeep up there, right by that yellow school sign. I start my lane change, I reduce my speed, and I begin to position the car so that my right tire is on the limit line where the asphalt and the concrete meet. I tracked my visual of my front right corner of my car, and I straightened just in time so that I'm the perfect distance within 18 inches from the curb. When I look in the left mirror, I can see that I'm parallel to the bike lane and I'm away from it. So I feel pretty good knowing that I'm in the perfect position. I'm going to head out back on the road and try that again and see if we can get another perfect parking. And I hope that through this process, you're thinking about how you can sit in your car and you can find a place that has a long, straight curb so that you can practice pulling over to park. I'm going to pull over and park behind that silver Honda. I do my lane change, let my speed drop, aim my right tire for this little ridge where the concrete and the asphalt meet, look in my right mirror to see that nice parallel and nice distance between the curb and my door handle. I check and I see that I'm parallel to the bike lane and a nice distance, and I feel great about my parallel parking. When I'm parked parallel, it's easy to reverse in a long straight row. I check the right mirror to make sure I don't get too close to the curb. And I just wanted to back up enough so that I can exit my parking spot. On the driving test, students have to be able to reverse for 3 car lengths. So let's try that here. First, I'm going to come into my perfect parking spot using all of those same markers, my tire on the parking limit line. I check my right mirror to make sure that I'm parallel. I see that I'm a little close, so I'm actually going to reverse and just open that up a little bit. That feels better to me. I want to reverse straight back, so I'm going to keep my thumbs parallel. I have to look out the back window to make sure that nobody pulls out of their driveway. And I just lift up my toe so I get a nice, smooth reverse. I can apply slight pressure to slow the car down if I need to. I'm staying straight, turning just a little bit to the right because I moved a little to the left to avoid those bushes. And all the while, I'm thinking about being parallel to the curb and reversing safely. So that's a skill you're definitely going to have to do on your driving test. Pulling over to the curb, parking parallel, and then being able to reverse 3 car lengths in parallel position at a safe speed. Find yourself a road with a nice straight curb and practice doing that a few times, and you'll get better and better at it each time. Thanks for checking in, and keep up your good practice.